Welcome back to underrated movies, underrated games as well. I'm your guy, I'm your man, Mr. Allen Henry. Today, I would like to talk to you of another underrated video game that could be a potential live action movie or series. In fact, I think it'd be better off as a series because I just like that there's more story you can um, explore. And this is a film, actually, this is a game that's actually been in development for quite some time now. And no word has become of it. Kind of want to know what's the status of it, or it could be, the game. It's been quite some time since the game came out. There has been talks to adapt the project into a live action feature, and I'm talking about Kane and Lynch Dead Man. And there's also a sequel to the game. I never played the sequel. I played the first game. Um, and I do recall back in the day when there was talks about it. I remember hearing Jamie Foxx was attached to it. Uh, I do know you play Kane in the first game, and the second game plays Lynch. Anyway, the story with Kane and Lynch is about basically these two criminals and they're pretty shitty people that have to do some pretty bad things to get out of a jam that they're in. That's basically what the adventures are of Kane and Lynch. First game deals with Kane being broken out of jail with the help of Lynch, who was hired by Kane's ex gang members that he owed money to, and they want him to pretty much pay back all the money that he owed, and they pretty much go on this adventure to Hong Kong, and then I think in Colombia or somewhere in South America to extract some items that he owes. Also, his daughter and ex-wife is kidnapped and held hostage. Um, and what I really remember about the game, I do remember some levels that I really liked. I really liked the heist level, the first level where you're breaking out of the prison transportation, and there's a big old police shooting in the streets. And then I really love the prison, not prison, the bank robbery heist that you have to partake early on into the game. It's developed by the same creators who did the Hitman franchise. I mean, it's basically the same graphics, and it's very action packed. I actually love the style, the impact that the game really gives you when you're playing this. It's very chaotic. Like it reminds me of kind of reminds me if Michael Bay helmed it, and I think he would do a decent job helming this series, but I don't know. I feel like there's something about the film that needs to feel more grittier and ballsier. I just don't think Michael Bay would do it. Um, at least could pull off in the way that I'm seeing this. Because this is a very gritty game, but it's also a short game to my surprise. It's a very difficult game. I do remember though that it was a pain learning the controls. The controls was very odd. Uh, and that's kind of funny, because I actually did enjoy the game, but it's hard as hell. Pain, it's filled with regret. He's pretty much ready to pay the price for his sins until he gets pulled back and do these bids. Um, and he has to because his wife and daughter is being kidnapped, and he has to do what he has to do to go rescue him. And he tries to make amends, and you feel the guilt. And I love the psychological guilt you are placed into that character's mind. Um, the downside, though, with a title named Kane and Lynch, you don't get to pick the other character. So that character is pretty much on standby. He's a co-op. It's a computer co-op. Uh, I do know in the second game you play Lynch, so it's flipped around, and I heard the second game wasn't as great. I don't know. Like I said, I have not played the second game. But what I can say is, I think this game would be an ideal pick to adapt into a television series, at least a limited series. I mean, maybe a movie, as long as it's like beat for beat, like where they're headed. I do know the movie would need to be at least 2.5 hours. I just don't like where they try to crunch time. Movies were, I get it. There's been a criticism of movies being over long, but what I don't like is where plot elements get exposited like crazy, and you don't really take the time to digest the information. You're just fed it, and you just move on. That's what I really don't like. I like when a movie takes its time to reveal details to kind of really get you in the to really get you in the into the story, and that goes off with um, characters. Really, the characters fleshed out. I think really what would really dive into this is that this series. Let's call it as a series. Let's say if they were to adapt it to a series, whoever helms this, and they should try to get this out. I think it would be a great game to make into a series. Is to find a director who is very character driven and really good with dialogue. I do know like Paul Thomas Anderson, but his style, I don't know if he would be great for that. But you never know. Uh, with this recent one battle after another, he doesn't really sell the idea for gritty action, but he sells the idea for very complicated characters and partnerships. Uh, maybe what's another director I'm thinking of? Rick Wan. He directed Snitch, and then he just recently directed the Greenland movie, the sequel. He did this film with Gerard Butler called Kadar that had grittiness to it. That would be another director I would say would be ideal for it. I'm trying to think of a female director. Unfortunately, I can't think of one right now, but uh, I would also say maybe I feel like Alex Garland could do well with it, but I feel this movie would be below his interest to really get into a Kane and Lynch. Because I imagine like a war that's kind of chaotic, kind of just really cops and robbers doing dirty stuff, like Gangster Departed to with a mixture of Michael Mann's Heat, to really sell that vibe of cops and robbers with a partnership of these two characters who really don't like each other, who really don't like each other, but respect each other enough to realize they have to put aside their differences and to just work with what they got in dangerous and even crazy situations, especially if you have Lynch, who's pretty much a drug addict, sometimes going loony on his victims. And that would be tough to find the right actor for that role. Kane, I could see Mark Wahlberg or his brother Donnie Wahlberg to really helm the character. I could see Sam Worthington play Kane. I could see maybe Jake Gyllenhaal play Kane. I don't know who can play Lynch. Someone who really is kind of in that same age range. Who can balance who psychotic, who can also balance having that personality of being level headed. Uh, that's tough. That's tough right now. I would have to look back. Maybe no. Maybe Will Poulter from uh Narnia. He did he had two A24 movies that came out. With Warfare and Death of a Unicorn. He was also in the what's that movie? Anyway, Someone who could really be kind of who could really be that kind of psychotic, level-headed, trigger-happy kind of character. Uh, don't know who could play that, but I think um, whoever that actor is could definitely pull that off. And the action needs to be just explosively gritty. I'm thinking gritty like Black Hawk Down, maybe Ridley Scott. Maybe Ridley Scott might be the best choice. Um, because of his Body of Lies, Black Hawk Down, some of his other grittier movies, The Counselor, which I hated, uh, something like that, something, or maybe no, not Spike Lee, no, Ridley Scott. Uh, I could really see his vision of this movie of this property could really take. Which is surprisingly, I think this game would be a pretty easy uh story to adapt. You just got to find the right vision to pull it off. Um, for those who aren't familiar with Kane and Lynch, I recommend just checking out the gameplay. Uh, Honestly, it's a fun game. I would really love to play this again. Uh, but if Netflix is hearing this, seeing this, I would love for them to try to tackle this out, or who knows, any media streaming company right now that's looking for another game to adapt. I think this would be ideal. I mean, I don't think there's not much of a lore. There's not much of a fan base to it, so I think you can get away with quite a bit. Just don't deviate from the grittiness of what the game presents or what the game is, because if you do, I think you're gonna fuck it up. But Kane and Lynch, I think, would be a great idea to adapt into a live action series. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. Let me know what is your experience with Kane and Lynch. I remember playing it. I remember my brother finishing the game. So there we all go. And let me know what is your favorite underrated movie.